Sean's son's medical records leaking and everybody seeing and hearing about what's on them does not cancel her. I don't know what else at this point will. Like,
So, Chrisean Rock's baby, Chrisean Rock Jr., allegedly medical report is being released and has gotten people talking. Let's talk about it. Hey, beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So, if you guys don't know who Chrisean Rock is, then please go do your research and go do your research anyway. That's all I'm just going to say. But Chrisean, we know, if you know her, you know her story. But Chrisean, what has gotten everybody talking is the fact that now allegedly, I'm putting it there because it has not been confirmed if this is true. Allegedly, medical report of what a son has, because we don't know Chrisean has a baby, and there's been speculation going on around for since she had the baby that the baby has some type of condition and all that. So allegedly, it's been said that the medical report has been released by unknown person allegedly, and it's been said that the child has like allegedly an alcohol withdrawal syndrome, and some people are saying that the child also has like drug withdrawal and all that. And this has struck entire conversation, which we're going to go into and break it down. But this has struck entire conversation of people talking about what the condition of the child probably is allegedly, and what help the child will need, and how Chrisean has been lying that there is nothing wrong with a child and that the child is fine. But this also bring into the conversation of people talking about what, like, some people are saying that they are not surprised the child has all these conditions because of how Chrisean was when she was pregnant with her son. And this has struck entire conversation if she is fit to be a mom, or if she should continue being a mom, or if she even had a business having a child. But anyway, guys, let's go check out this video, people's reaction to it, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Okay, who's out here breaking HIPAA laws? Apparently, there's some medical records of Chrisean and her baby floating around, and I don't know if it's true. This is all alleged, but I'm just gonna share what I learned. Maybe, allegedly. So it says that the baby suffers from Hall syndrome and neonatal abstinence syndrome. So neonatal abstinence syndrome is basically the baby is withdrawing from some sort of, but they're thinking either or in this case, and allegedly. But he also allegedly suffers from spasticity, which is like a neurological disorder that makes it hard for people or babies to move their limbs. He also suffers from seizure disorder and CVI. Now, CVI is cortical visual impairment, which is just it means that a part of his brain that controls his vision. So wow. He has blindness. Like, a lot of I've heard people say this, but I just didn't believe it. But oh my God. It also says that he should be in palliative care. Now, I work in hospice, and a lot of people they believe that palliative care and hospice is interchangeable, but it's not. Palliative care kind of focuses more on prolonging the life of the child or person in general. But in this case, if he should be on palliative care, he's got a very serious medical condition, and she needs to be taking care of him. How? As a mother, do you know these diagnoses, or do you know any of this information about your son, and not help him in any way? Continue to live the same lifestyle that you lived before you had him. Exactly. When you become a mother or father, but in this case we're talking about mothers, when you become a mother, your life changes. You need to change, to adapt, to make sure that you are putting your child above yourself. Especially someone who has the serious medical issues that Junior has. Pathetic. She's pathetic. But all of these things are incredibly serious. I have literally no words. Chrisean disgusts me.
So allegedly, Chrisean Jr.'s medical records were released, but I'm just a little apprehensive as far as the legitimacy of the medical records. For one, of course, if they were released, it would have, violated HIPAA violations, of course. But there's other factors that play into it. So Chrisean Rock gave birth to her son, I believe September 3rd of 2023. And she gave birth in the state of Maryland. Maryland has very strict laws when it comes to reporting. I believe it's LDSS or it's like Child Protective Services. Whenever a child is born and they test positive for, that doesn't necessarily mean they would take the child away. But they do have to immediately report it. And then according to the medical records, she didn't receive prenatal care. So that would also be a red flag for them to notify, Child Protective Services and say, hey, we need some assistance. That doesn't necessarily mean they would take the child away, but they would, possibly explore the option of giving her further parental guidance and assistance, and also doing follow-up appointments to make sure that the child is in proper care. Before even doing all of that, they would probably keep him, within like a NICU or some type of treatment to make sure that the child isn't showing signs of, or, fetal syndrome or something to that extent. But because that it doesn't look like that appeared to happen, we really don't know. We do know that she kept custody of Chrisean Rock Jr., so it could be quite possible that the medical records could be fake and that Chrisean Rock Jr. actually suffers from some type of diagnosis or some type of medical condition that's causing him to appear to have what he has. And I'm not saying he does have anything. I'm not saying he has a medical diagnosis. I'm not saying anything because I'm not a doctor. But people suspect that he has, I believe it's like cru de chat or something like that, or some type of fetal alcohol syndrome, something to that extent. But we really don't know. And if Child Protective Services did not see a red flag in as far as her keeping custody of Chrisean Rock, it's quite possible that he may just have a medical diagnosis, if anything at all, and not it being a result of abuse, or if that makes sense.
Chrisean Rock is this generation's Casey Anthony, and I hate every single one of you who convinced her to keep that baby. Oh, the baby gonna make her change. She gonna do better for the baby. The baby gonna give her her first dose of true love. She only got pregnant to one-up Jaden and to have a baby to keep Blue. And because she saw that wasn't working and he tormented her whole pregnancy, she drank and did. That baby is suffering.
And what was exposing Chrisean Jr. medical records supposed to be doing? Like, assuming that these medical records are real ass records, assuming that HIPAA has been violated, what the is the purpose of that?
True.
What are y'all getting out of that? That's what I'm very confused about. Like, what is confirming his diagnoses and disabilities supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it was her fault or not. Like, this is a part of the deeper conversation where women, the uterus carrying person, carries almost 100% of responsibility for bringing to full term an 100% healthy baby. Like, it's crazy that you guys do not understand how much the other person's DNA impacts the way the womb even develops, and then subsequently how the DNA expresses itself. Like, what the But again, most importantly, what is exposing this child's medical record supposed to do? As if you guys are going to what have you even been doing thus far? Like, what the Yes, she is a terrible mother. Yes, she is very depressed, and she doesn't want to be in the situation that she's in, and she doesn't want to have to deal with a child with disabilities. We see that in real time. So what is exposing that baby's medical record supposed to do? That's what I'm confused about as a bystander. Like, what are y'all doing? Also, playing with your license in the current economy is really crazy. Babes, you're not gonna have a real job in a minute.
Allegedly, Chrisean Jr. medical records got leaked. Somebody is losing their job, getting sued, and put under the jail. Y'all already know she about to try to fry. But on another note, I've been sitting around waiting on Chrisean to respond, because where the is you at? Your ass been out here addressing everybody and everything. Like, come on now, come to the forefront. But since you've been on probation, you done addressed Carlista, you done addressed Blueface, you done addressed his family, you done addressed Kaylani, you done addressed Yanti, you done addressed TT and her boyfriend, you done addressed DDG, you done addressed WAC. Like, you done addressed every drama since you've been off probation. Do not act like you don't see these medical records being leaked. Allegedly. All of this is allegedly. I don't even know if it's the real medical records or not. You literally have addressed everything and everybody since you've been on probation. Where are you at? Where the are you at? Y'all, I already know she's gonna come up here and say the records is fake. Everything is fake. Everybody's lying on her.
Allegedly, Junior's medical records were leaked. Now, whoever leaked these medical records, shame on you, because this is such an innocent baby. However, man, I don't know. I am kind of flabbergasted, because I think we've all collectively seen and knew, like, something is actually going on with the baby and he may need, like, specialty treatment. And can I just say that had Chrisean just came out and said, you guys, you know what? I was selfish during my pregnancy. You guys all seen it. However, day in the life of a mom trying to make it right. Like, day in the life of a mom taking her baby to therapy. Day in the life of people would have been way more supportive had she taken that route versus these lies. All of these lies. Now, back to the documents. It is being alleged on these documents that Junior has fetal alcohol syndrome. Who didn't know that? We all seen the girl drinking. They said that he allegedly was tested positive for opioids. What else did they say? Which and that he needs almost every type of care a person could need. Almost every type of care. And I'm just trying to understand why she was even allowed to take this baby anywhere. She really needs to be locked up. But I kept reading comments and they were saying in Baltimore that it's very common that they let babies go home with parents, you know, like her. So this is actually just insane to me that somebody leaked this baby's documents. Like, this, whoa. But maybe it will force this girl to start being absolutely honest.
Let me just say this, okay? Chrisean leaked her own medical records. You don't have to go try to figure out who leaked them or anything. She did. It's something mental really going on with the young lady, and she really needs help, okay? Those medical records basically show what Chrisean Jr. had and also the therapies he was going to need, okay? Now, it's so sad because it was a lot of stuff on the medical records that Chrisean Jr. supposedly had. And on top of that, it kind of named a couple that Chrisean actually had her system at the time that she was pregnant. Plus, in all reality, the medical records was basically showing what everybody was assuming about Chrisean Jr. anyway. So why she keep on getting on the internet and calling herself bullying and trying to get into it with this and the third and Tia Kemp, because people genuinely try to tell her to get her son off the internet and get him the help that he needs. And honestly, I think it's so sad that stuff like medical records and proof and videos of you pregnant and drinking and stuff like that even have to be out here to prove a point that you're out here lying and proceeding to be something that you're not.
Sean's son's medical records leaking and everybody seeing and hearing about what's on them does not cancel her. I don't know what else at this point will. Like, somebody needs to get that little boy out of her care and get him out of her care quick. I tried to give Chrisean the benefit of the doubt because, you know, you're not always the best parent. Not everybody is the best parent, but they might be the best parent for that child. No, she's not the best parent at all. Like, seeing what's on these medical records is making me sick. Like, mind y'all, he didn't ask to be here and she did not have to have him. And also, if y'all not gonna know about HIPAA, don't talk about HIPAA. HIPAA pertains to the people that signed the HIPAA paper, the HIPAA forms, you know, agreeing not to violate that, which therefore goes for the medical records, the hospital workers, the doctors, you know, things like that, not friends and family. They didn't sign or agree to no HIPAA lawsuit maybe, but nobody's violating HIPAA talking about this. Mind y'all, there's a whole list of things, but I'm just going to point out the major ones. The first one being, like we all assumed, he does suffer from fetal syndrome. He does suffer from neonatal abstinence syndrome, which basically is drug. And from the records, they're saying that it was cocaine. He does also suffer from spasticity, which would explain why he's almost 2 and cannot walk or barely move. If y'all notice, Chrisean always has him either in a stroller or carrying him. It's basically a neurological condition that causes abnormal muscle stiffness or tightness and makes moving pretty hard. But mind y'all, he's a baby. Yeah, times 10. He also suffers from seizure disorder. Another big one was CVI, which is cortical visual impairment. And that is basically when a portion of the brain has been damaged, therefore leading to, like, it's basically going to affect how he interprets visual stimulus, like problems with processing, problems with, you know, paying attention, problems with recognition. And based off how we've seen Junior, these all are making sense. The big kicker here is that with all of the things listed, he's supposed to be in palliative care. For y'all that don't know, that is basically care that is supposed to, like, help prolong his life and make it a more stable, durable life. Without that, things are not going to go well. So when people are telling Chrisean that she needs to get her son the help that he needs, there's literally help that he needs. As a mom, just as a human, but as a mom, it's sad, it's sickening. The internet was able to tell you that you needed to get your son help before you could admit that he needed help. Like, I don't see how people are not seeing the deeper problem when it comes to this. I don't see why or how she still has her son. So sad, because that little boy did not ask to be here. And from before she even had Junior, people have been pointing out certain behaviors and certain things that Chrisean is doing or has done that they knew was going to affect the baby, yet she still has the baby and she's getting worse and worse. I don't feel bad for her one bit. I'm glad that people are talking about it. I'm glad that people are speaking up about it, because I think that all of the rumors and all the ruckus and seeing how she does her son, how bad of a job she does being a mother, is what got the medical records to be leaked. Because let Chrisean tell her son is perfectly fine and we just need to mind our business. Whole time, he needs to be in a very certain strict type of care. Like, it makes me so mad, and that's not even my child, because he did not ask to be here and she did not have to have him. Like, at this point, he might have been better off not here. And I'm so sad to say, but look at the life he has to live because of somebody being so careless and selfish. And the fact that everybody just stands around and, like, no friends, no family, nobody's going to say anything or do anything, step in. It's just wild to me. She wonders why people get on the internet and bash her so badly. Girl, we're not even bashing you for you. We're bashing you because of how you do your son. That's literally sick.
Please let me know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thoughts. And let me know if you think HIPAA was being violated with this story, because some people are saying HIPAA is being violated, some people are saying it's not. So if you are in the medical field, please educate us more in the comment section. But yeah, let's talk about and I just want to put it out there, everything is alleged. So everything I'm speaking on is based on the alleged situation. But let's even talk about the child. Apart from just talking about Chrisean and a baby and all that, is the fact that we see a lot of people in toxic relationship, because if you be following Chrisean and Blueface and the entire relationship, the dynamic, it is very, very toxic. And if you know that dynamic, you know that's not a dynamic to even bring a child into. And then when you now see people in such toxic relationships still decide and choose to have a child when they have no business having a child, especially if that is a toxic relationship in a toxic environment, for me that is just a very selfish attitude, because in your head, in your mind, you literally think that that was what will fix the relationship, that was what will bring you closer to that toxic partner that does not really want you, but you're just pushing yourself in on this person or whatever situation it is. I've seen instances where a lot of women think that having a child with a man is going to make their relationship better, or having a child in a marriage, in a relationship, is going to make the relationship better, where in reality it's just even going to amplify whatever issues, underlying issues, that relationship, that marriage, that situationship already has. It's just going to amplify it. So whoever has said it, or has even put it in women's head and feel like they can even use a child to manipulate how a man wants them or how they want a relationship, please stop it, because this is a selfish act, and at the end of the day, the one person that is going to suffer a lot of the consequences is the child, because this child does not ask to be here. You know you don't want that child, but because you think that child is going to be a tool for you in that relationship, you decide to have it. I'm not saying 100% that's what Chrisean did, but that's what a lot of us think that she did, because at the time Chrisean was pregnant with her baby, a lot of people were having the conversation about how she has no business having a child and why she should not have the child. But some people are like, oh, it's going to help her, it's going to change her, it's going to make her even more responsible and all that. But we've seen there are clips of Chrisean and her baby that you could see that Chrisean cannot even stand the baby. And this is why, like, a lot of the time when it comes to having a baby, having a child, I feel like the narrative out there, and this is what I'm so passionate about it so badly, that the narrative out there about women having children, I'm talking about how it's going to change them for the better, how it's going to keep them grounded. It's a lot of the time it end up coming. Let's even say the child does not have any form of complications at all, but it's going to end up, especially when you're not physically, mentally prepared for it, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into, which a lot of mothers, a lot of young girls, a lot of women don't even know what they're getting pregnant and having a child, because they feel like it's going to be kumbaya. And when they now have to deal with the child and have to be there for the child and provide and protect that child, it end up coming off as being with a little bit of resentment, because their entire life has been turned upside down, in and out. They can have good sleep, they can take care of themselves, they are strapping for money, because the money they have that can go a long way now is almost like not going anywhere, and it eventually end up building resentment towards the child. So when in this question and situation, and then you see dynamic like this, for me it's just like, I've seen clips of Chrisean, the way there was one story, I didn't cover the story, but they were talking about how she left a baby in the car for a while, how she gave a baby to one of her team members to carry, because she is exhausted. This is not being even like making excuses for her, but I'm just talking about the reality having a child. They're not even having a child when you allegedly were using substance and drinking and all that. That is such a selfish act, because because the truth is that even when you're not 100% informed about what it takes to have a child and all that, but once you're pregnant, there are certain things you should stop, there are certain things you should cut out, there are certain things you should do for the health of yourself and that baby, and even for safe delivery, because whether anybody wants to sugarcoat it, having a child or carrying a child is a life and death situation. But the fact that during her pregnancy she was crashing out, she and Blueface, they were going at it. It is a toxic environment, and the truth is that Chrisean has no business having a child. No business having a child. And a lot of women need to look themselves in the mirror and ask themselves if they have any business having a child. Because I feel like she felt like allegedly having a child is going to bring she and Blueface closer. But now we clearly see how it is. Even Blueface doesn't want anything to do with her. And she is still struggling. Chrisean is like, if you go and do the research, or if you know Chrisean's story and see how she got to where she is today, it's really heartbroken to see such a beautiful star, a beautiful girl that has so much going for her, ended up tattooing somebody's face on her face. Literally. And this is where, like, I always bring this up when I have conversation like this. This boils down to how she was raised, her parents, how was her parents raised, and all that. Like I said, when that trauma, that healing is not done, it ends up being like a ripple effect of more things and crazy things happening, because it becomes a generational thing where it's like a ripple effect. So that's why I keep calling up on women, like, ask yourself diligently, talk to yourself, heal your trauma, and before you have decide to have a child, ask yourself if that is something you really want to do. If you're not going to bring a child that you're just going to incur more trauma into the child, you're going to bring another miserable human being into this life, because whether you like it or not, life is hard already. So why don't you just focus on yourself, take care of yourself, heal yourself? Because a lot of time, some women that are having children have no business having children because they are still going through their trauma. They are still in shackles of their insecurities, their fears, and their trauma, literally. But anyway, guys, I need you guys to let me know what you guys think about this entire conversation down in the comment section, okay? But please, as always, keep it respectful, okay? Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversations, so go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.